Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode in our must-haves video series. This series focuses on pop culture related collectibles that we believe have long-term investment potential. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you know that we do a lot of videos on certified video games and a lot of videos on certified comics. Now, today we brought together a group of collectibles here that actually combine both of those categories together. We're going to be taking a look at a group of CGC certified video game inspired comic books. Now, video game comics have always been a niche in the comic book collecting world, but they've taken off in the last few years. They've brought in a lot of new collectors. A lot of new collectors are going after these video game comics, and the prices are skyrocketing on these. Now, video game comic books are typically low print run books because retailers don't really order a lot of these, and books over the past 10-15 years have been print to order for the most part. So retailers don't order a lot from the get-go. So the print runs are very low on these books, and some of these books actually come out prior to the video game, so they actually feature true first appearances of some of these characters that you guys have grown to love and recognize from all the video game franchises. They actually started out or got their introduction to pop culture through the comic books and not the video games themselves. So it's a really cool group of comics that we have to show you guys. And it's a really cool niche that, like I said, it's kind of taking off. It's not as niche as it used to be. So it's not really mainstream yet. People are catching on. These books are skyrocketing in price. But we did pick out a group of 5 books today, all CGC certified, that we think you guys should add to your collection if you ever see them on the open market. So let's go ahead and show these to you guys in order of ascending value. So we're going to start with the lowest value first and move our way up. Book number 1. God of War number 1. CGC 9.8, published by DC Wildstorm in May of 2010. Now there's a population of 36 in this book in CGC 9.8 with none higher. Copies ordered by retailer is only 9,840, so there's less than 10,000 copies that were ever ordered that ever went out there in the world. So under 10,000 copies exist of this book, population of only 36 and 9.8. This is based on the Sony video game and is the first appearance of Kratos in a comic book. Now, in October of last year, it was rumored that Netflix will be developing a TV series for this. We haven't heard anything yet. That was kind of an unconfirmed rumor, but that has definitely affected the value of this book. It has shot the book up in price. So this is a book that you used to be able to pick up for like $400 or $500. Expect to pay $500 to $600 in today's market, but this book is climbing. There's only 36 and 9.8, and you're talking about a book that came out about 10 years ago. So there's not going to be a whole lot of more of these graded in 9.8 that haven't already been submitted. So you're talking about a population of 36 for around $500-$600. Pick this one here up. These video game inspired comic books getting super hot, and God of War, I don't know if you guys are watching the certified video game market, but God of War is drawing $10,000 in 9.8. So the comic book, a lot of these collectors are coming after these comics as well. This book here is jumping in price. Pick this one up sooner rather than later. This is definitely one to add to your collection if you can find it. God of War. All right. Book number 2. Legend of Zelda number 1, CGC 9.8, published by Valiant Comics in 1990. Now, there's a population of 56 in CGC 9.8 with none higher. This book was inspired by the Legend of Zelda Nintendo game, and it is rumored that there is a movie in development, but this is just a rumor. This is not confirmed yet. There's a lot of speculation on that because it was just announced in January of this year, January of 2021, that Nintendo is actually going to be making a Super Mario Brothers movie. So there's a lot of speculation that they'll be making a Legend of Zelda movie as well. So this book here is shooting up in price. Expect to pay $500-$600 in today's market for this. Now, this is a first print edition. There are other print editions of this, so make sure you're picking up the first print edition. That is the one that is the hottest and the most collectible. So this one here, definitely pick this one up if you can find it. Legend of Zelda number 1. And a CGC 9.8. All right, here we go. We're going back in time now. Book number 3. This is Blip number 1, CGC 9.8, published by Marvel Comics in February of 1983. There's a population of 14 in 9.8 with none higher. Now, this is the first comic book appearance of Mario and Donkey Kong. Like I just mentioned a moment ago, in January it was announced that Nintendo will be making a Super Mario Brothers movie. So this book here, this can't be hotter. The first appearance of Super Mario and Donkey Kong in a comic book. You know, and this one here, you're talking about a book that came out in the 80s. There's not going to be a lot of these coming out of the woodwork and being sent to CGC and grading high. You know, there's only 14 of these in 9.8. This one here, expect to pay $1,000 plus. This one here is shooting up in value right now. Because like I said before, a lot of those guys that are collecting those video games in the video game market today are coming after a lot of the other collectibles associated with video games, comic books being one of them. And here you have the first appearance of Mario and Donkey Kong in a comic book. Expect to pay $1,000, $1,200 in today's market, maybe even more for CGC 9.8. There's only 14 of these. If you find this, pick this one up. This here is one you can't miss. This is one, definitely add this to your collection if you ever find one of these. It's an incredibly important book, not only in video games, but in comic books as well. All right, here we have another great title. Book number 4, The Last of Us, American Dreams #1, CGC 9.8, published by Dark Horse in April of 2013. Now, there's a population of 41 of these in CGC 9.8 with none higher. The copies ordered by retailers is only 6,032, so only about 6,000 of these books were ever printed. Now, this is a prequel to the game. This came out prior to the game being released by Naughty Dog, so this actually came out first. So this here is actually the true first appearance of these characters into the pop culture realm. This came out before the video game. Now, this is the first print edition. The first print has the white title across here. Subsequent printings have different color titling. So this one here is the first print edition. This is the one you want. This is the one that there's only 6,000 of. Like I said, population of 41 of this. Very low population, so expect to pay $1,000 plus. We're thinking about $1,200 to $1,500 for a book like this in today's market, because there is an HBO TV series in development for this already. This is going to come out, I think, in 2022 also is when it's going to be released. This is a franchise that everybody knows. People love this franchise in the video game realm, and the video games, sealed video games in high grade, are going for great money. People are coming after these comics in high grade, low print runs, franchises that everyone recognizes. This one here, definitely pick this one up. Expect to pay $1,000 plus, probably closer to $1,500 in today's market. But one you definitely want to own due to the low print run and the popularity of the franchise. Once they actually release this TV series, this book here is going to be impossible to find. Now we're down to our last book, which is definitely a holy grail in the video game comic book sector. Book number 5 in today's video. Twisted Metal 2, this is a no number, CGC 9.0, published by DC Comics in 1996. This is a population of 1. In 9.0, there's 3 higher. There's 2 in 9.6 and 1 in 9.4. So only 4 on the CGC census altogether. Now this is the first comic book appearance and origin of Calypso, and it's based on a video game by Sony Entertainment. Now, this book here is tremendously important. There were only 100 of these ever printed. They were printed as prizes for a contest in the Tips and Tricks magazine. Now, 50 were given out as contest prizes to winners of that contest, and 10 of them were also given out to people that wrote into the magazine. So there was only 60 books out there in the world, and the Sony employees said that the other 40 were destroyed. So there's only 60 books out there, only 4 on the census. This book is extremely rare, and this is considered canon for the Twisted Metal franchise. This is a holy grail item. If you're a collector of Twisted Metal material, this one here is one you know about. This is a holy grail item. Expect to pay $2,500 plus in today's market for this book in 9.0. A 9.6 sold last year for $4,000, but in our opinion, that's undervalued for a book that there's 4 in the census and there's only 60 that exist in the world. Now, this book here, incredibly important. And fun fact, interesting fact, the first panel of this book actually shows the destruction of the World Trade Centers 5 years prior to it actually happening. You'll never see the inside of this book, so that's just a fun fact or interesting fact for you guys. But the first panel of this story actually shows the destruction of the World Trade Centers years before it actually occurred. Just a odd coincidence, but it does exist in this story. Now, this book here, like I mentioned, tremendously important. A holy grail item for Twisted Metal collectors, video game, comic book collectors. This one here, expect to pay $2,500 and up. And we're thinking this book in 9.0 should be a $4,000 book. 9.6 it should be closer to $10,000. So if you can find this one, population of 4, so it's going to be tough. Definitely add this one here to your long-term investment portfolio. This is a must-have for video game comic books. So there you have the 5 books we selected for today's video. Please give us some comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you guys think. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.